Hello there, I'm Jonathan Kneen. I'm the project manager for Ballalockie, the aim of which is to get Lockie back on the Isle of Man living. And I'd just like to show you around the existing cottage, why we've done what we've done, and then we'll have a little walk through the extension to give you an update. So we're at the front of the house at the moment, and we'll walk through the cottage at the moment. As you can see, there has been a new front porch built to access the cottage. The reason for this was that the existing front door to the cottage did not allow Lockie to come through in his wheelchair. So we need to change that front door and make sure that there's a slimmer profile frame in there to allow Lockie to come through. We've obviously made the new opening to the porchway a lot wider so that Lockie can access straight through the porch and then straight into the house. The other reason for the new porch is that there's an existing porch which takes up some space off the lounge. So that porchway, to allow Lockie to manoeuvre around the existing cottage and the lounge, has to be removed. So as you can see, this is the lounge and was the dining space off the cottage. You'll see Lockie, when he comes home, actually sleeps in the lounge in his hospital bed, which, you know, in my opinion is totally wrong for somebody to have to do that. But that's the best case that can be put forward at the moment to allow Lockie to come back. So the lounge space and the lounge dining room, we're going to do quite a considerable amount of work in here. The existing lounge will basically be flipped from one side of the house to the other, and the reason for that is that the opening to the extension will be to the left of the existing chimney breast, and then we're going to form an opening through this wall into the kitchen. At the moment, when Lockie's back, Lockie cannot go into the kitchen because the existing opening space through here and then a sharp turn right is just too narrow and too tight for Lockie to come through in his wheelchair. It's only fair, with the extent of work that we're doing, that we make the whole house, the whole downstairs, inclusive and allow Lockie to manoeuvre around on his own. So we're going to open up an opening here where the radiator is. That'll go feed directly into the lounge, and then we're going to open up where the existing lounge window is, and that's going to go straight into the new dining area. So this whole kitchen, 4 walls, will have 2 large openings in, which then obviously means that the existing kitchen space has to be totally remodelled to allow for these alterations and layout changes, and then obviously have a new kitchen fitted, which again allows Lockie to come in and use the space. The whole ground floor will have new flooring, hard flooring again to allow Lockie to manoeuvre his wheelchair on his own. So obviously carpet with a wheelchair doesn't work, there's just too much effort required to manoeuvre it, and as I say, it's all about making life for Lockie a lot easier when he's home, and so he enjoys being home, and to give him as much independence as possible in his new space. So obviously this is a family home. There's mum, dad, Dan and Lauren, and then there's Lockie, and then there's his brothers and sisters, Harrison, Taryn and Duna, all of whom are still living at home, and obviously we need to include them in the design and make sure that the family life can get back to how it used to be, although obviously there's going to be a new chapter in the family life starting. It's all about still making it family. They're a very close family. They've got grandparents who come and stay with them and have meals with them and stuff at Christmas time. This lounge and dining area were absolutely full with people. There was a large table, you know, so they're a real Manx family. You'll see on the architrave of the existing porchway, they've got over the years the height of the kids marked, you know, and that's how close a family they are. And you've got to keep that in the back of your mind, and that's the reason why as well that, you know, I stepped in to help them. Ballalockie was born really because there was no other option. There was no other option for them. As far as I am aware, government would not help them until Lockie was home, and then they could assess what needs he has. Now, that's not really fair, because Lockie couldn't come home until he had accommodation that met his needs, and therefore we were in a trap. So I did come forward, because my son is good friends with Lockie. I did come forward and say, you know, I'd like to help you out. Let's get something DIY SOS equivalent done for you. Thanks to the amount of generosity and support that we've got from the Isle of Man construction industry, the Isle of Man builders merchants, we have been able to build an extension for Lockie, which we'll go to in a second, to give him the best quality of life and make him as independent as we can when he's home. Okay, so we'll have a look now in the main extension that's been built. It's a 60 square metre extension. It accommodates a bedroom, a wet room and a dining room, and the key to it was, as I say, to make Lockie inclusive and to allow accessibility right around the ground floor. So we have created his own entranceway into the extension, although the idea is still for him to use the main house entrance. This entrance obviously allows a lot more natural daylight to come through into the bedroom. It's got nice countryside views out of all the windows and these doors, but also allows his friends to come in and out of the house basically as and when he pleases. So we're entered into his bedroom. On the back wall will be his bed, and then in this room as well he's going to have a little area to sit in where when his friends can come round, you know, they can play on the Xboxes, they can watch TV, they can watch movies, catch up on the time basically that Lockie's missed over the last sort of two years and 4 months. So from the bedroom he will be able to enter the lounge. So there's an opening through this big Manx stone wall here, which will go straight into the lounge, which will take him into the left hand side off the chimney breast. We'll have his wardrobes. We're going to build some built-in wardrobes here for him as well, and then we've created then a walk-in wet room, which will have a walk-in shower, obviously a WC hand wash basin, plenty of room to manoeuvre around in there for wheelchair access. We'll have grab rails, everything that Lockie will need basically to make washing himself and obviously using the loo as independent as possibly can. This double opening into the dining room will be reduced down to a single opening, and then this is then a family dining room which will join to the kitchen, because obviously the window and the wall below is to come out. And there'll be a large, Dan, his dad, Lockie's dad, is a craftsman in his own right. He's a metal worker by trade, and he's going to build a nice big family dining table. He's got a design and he's looking forward to doing that, but they're going to have a big family dining table, bench seating around, and then chairs around that to accommodate all the members in the family. The idea is to have a treadmill in the corner, and that's why we've actually done lots more support above. We're going to have a treadmill in the corner there so that Lockie can use that and keep himself moving and improve his walking. And in the other corner down here, we're going to make a little accessible sort of kitchen area for Lockie so that he can make his own breakfast, make his own cup of tea, maybe make a sandwich, and then from there he can transfer directly onto the dining room table. And then outside there'll be a level patio, so it'll be level with the floor level off inside. He can wheel himself straight out, and it's like a little sunken patio area where again Lockie can get fresh air, where the family can all be together, barbecuing, sitting together, to make that again life back to how it should be for Lockie prior to the accident. So obviously this has all been built with donations from tradesmen volunteering their time, from builders, merchants, giving materials. The odd little donation of money has gone towards buying stuff. It's all done through volunteers, through donations. There is a separate GoFundMe page which was generated when Lockie had the accident. That GoFundMe page is a total separate pot of money to the build. That GoFundMe page was used in the initial early stages to help Dan and Lauren be able to travel back and forwards. So Dan took 18 months off work to be with Lockie. Dan stayed over in Liverpool and down at his grandmother's, and Dan put in about 50,000 miles up and down that motorway over 18 months. Lauren travelled backwards and forwards on the plane, on the boat, every weekend, and she came back during the week to be with the rest of the family. So it's important to sort of realise that the GoFundMe page is and has been a lifeline for Dan and Lauren. And, you know, on behalf of them, I'd like to again thank everybody who has donated to that, because without them donations, they couldn't have done what they've done. Dan couldn't have took the time off. Lauren couldn't have travelled backwards and forwards. But the GoFundMe page is a separate pot. This build has been done through another pot of money and another load of people donating their time. What we've still got left to do is obviously the internal fit out. So we've got plasterboarding, plastering, flooring, decorating, kitchen to go in. We've got the bathroom. We have the majority of stuff again donated to us already. However, you know, we are looking and we are hoping to finalise our flooring for the project. We still need help with a kitchen, whether that's a second-hand kitchen that we can redesign and repurpose, whether that's a showroom ex-display. We have put feelers out there, but if anybody obviously wants to help or knows of anything coming out from properties, we'd be grateful for your help. And then obviously we've got a lot of work outside to do yet in landscaping and tarmac and the drive. But you know, as I say, it's all done through volunteers. As I say, there was no real help at all from government. It's all been done through the Isle of Man community and through local builders and builders merchants. But as I say, as well, Dan and Lauren have never asked for anything. You know, I suggested to Dan and Lauren, this is what we do. I've done all the pushing to help Dan and Lauren, and it's as simple as that. You know, they haven't asked for anything. They are absolutely eternally grateful for everybody who's helped in the process. I do know when it's done, we're going to have a bit of a celebration. So, you know, anyone who wants to help would still very much appreciate any help we can get.